Riley. Thanks for watching us tonight. I don't want to know. That is the subject of this evening's talking post. As we reported last week, there are at least a half dozen major controversies inside the Obama administration that the president apparently didn't know anything about. Today in the Wall Street Journal front page headline says Obama unaware as U.S. spied on world leaders. And I believe that's true. Well, some Americans think Mr. Obama knew about Fast and Furious, the IRS, Benghazi, Libya, and the NSA spying while they were in development. Talking Points does not. It has become clear over the years the president does not manage in a micro way. He delegates, often to incompetent people. Most vivid example is the enormous screw-up in Obamacare. That's the president's signature issue, and he was apparently totally unaware that the rollout was broken. Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong about this. Barack Obama may have micromanaged all that stuff I mentioned. It's possible, but I believe improbable. Last night on 60 Minutes, the horror of 4 Americans being murdered in Benghazi, Libya, was vividly portrayed. Former Green Beret Commander Lieutenant Colonel Andy Wood says he warned the Obama administration Al-Qaeda was hunting the American ambassador.
He tried to assassinate the British ambassador. Wood says to him it came as no surprise because Al-Qaeda, using a familiar tactic, had stated their intent in an online posting, saying they would attack the Red Cross, the British, and then the Americans in Benghazi. And you watched as they attacked the Red Cross and the British mission, and the only ones left.
For us, they made good on 2 out of the 3 promises. It was a matter of time till they captured the 3rd one.
And Washington was aware of that.
They knew we monitored it. We included that in our reports to both State Department and DOD.
The problem with Colonel Wood's assertion is that we don't know exactly who he warned. Was it Secretary of State Clinton? Secretary of Defense Panetta? Both deny knowing of specific threats. And of course, President Obama says he did not know the extent of the danger either. But even after the attack was underway, the administration didn't take action.
You have this conversation with the defense attaché. You ask him what military assets are on their way, and he says,
effectively, they're not. And for a moment, I just felt lost. I just couldn't believe the answer. And then I made the call to the NX chief. And I told him, listen, you've got to tell those guys there may not be any help coming.
And there wasn't any help coming. Now, the defense attaché in Libya was Lieutenant Colonel Keith Phillips, who says there was a fuel problem in getting air power to Libya. But with all the warnings, shouldn't the U.S. military have been on alert in that region? Of course they should have been. So here's the overall situation. You have a president who apparently is disengaged from day-to-day activities in his own government. And one after another, you have major problems. Before Obamacare, many Americans were apathetic to that. But now, because healthcare affects them directly, the situation is changing. It's no longer satisfactory for Mr. Obama to say he's going to get to the bottom of things. Because number one, he never does. And number two, there's just too many screw-ups. The administration had 3.5 years to roll out the Affordable Health Care Law. And it spent close to $1 billion taxpayer dollars preparing for the rollout. Yet there's mass chaos. Finally, throughout history, people have gotten the government they deserve. I'm not going to say anything more. And that's a memo.